Hey everybody, this is Tim Wolf, and today's topic is the Billboard Top Artist for the Year, which was released last week, late last week, and we're going to be talking about who is the top, and for 2 consecutive years is the top artist for the entire year on Billboard. Hi, I'm Tim Wolf. I'm a Nashville singer-songwriter artist, and you can listen to some of my music down below. There's a link. You can listen to my music on Spotify. There's a bit.ly link, and also there's a link where you can download 2 of my recent singles for free, Castle Builder Cards and Born in South Dakota. So let's get into that. So Post Malone has been named the top artist by Billboard, 2nd year in a row. And this is the first time that someone has done this back to back. First time since Adele did in 2011 or 2012. How this is tabulated, Billboard looks at all the charts, the performance on all the charts, especially the Hot 100 and the Billboard 200, which is the albums charts. And it's averaged on the weekly charts dated November 3rd, 2019 through November 14th, 2020. So it isn't really a calendar year. It goes from mid to late November to mid to late November of the next year. And it reflects equivalent album units, airplay, sales, and streaming during the weeks that the titles appeared. And it also includes activity on the Billboard 200 albums tally, the Billboard Hot 100s list, as well as touring information, like the Billboard Boxcar, which is touring, and the Social 50 chart, which has to do with how the artists do on social media. And Post Malone is just killing it. Post Malone has the #1 album for the entire year of 2020 on Billboard, Hollywood's Bleeding. And he's the first person to be both the top artist and have the top album since Adele did it in 2016 with her album 25. Now, as far as who is on the charts for the top artists, Post Malone's #1, #2 is The Weeknd, 3 is Roddy Ricch, who's a newcomer. I mean, he came out of nowhere. And DaBaby, 4, Drake's #5, Juice WRLD is #6. He and Pop Smoke, which is #10, are 2 late rappers who have passed away, but they're still performing very well on the charts and have been in the top 2. So Juice WRLD's #6, Lil Baby #7, Harry Styles #8, and Taylor Swift #9 is the top female on the artist for the year. Swift's 5th go around as the year's top female artist. She was a top female artist on this chart in 2018, 2015, 2013, and 2009. And BTS, the Korean K-pop group, is a top duo group for the first time. So Post Malone, he's killing it. Hollywood's Bleeding debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 chart September 21st, 2019, and spent 5 weeks at #1 during the 2019 chart year. When the 2020 chart year began, Bleeding was still on the top 10 on the weekly Billboard 200 and would continue to rank in the weekly top 15 for the rest of the 52-week tracking period. So Hollywood's Bleeding has been in the top 15 for the entire period. And that doesn't even include the first 5 weeks before the tracking period started, when it was #1. So how did Post Malone do it? He did it with his top #1 album, which is Hollywood's Bleeding, which was #1 on the charts also. And he's the first artist since Adele, like I said, to do both of those, to be the top artist and the top album. So that album has had an incredible run. His continued chart run of his previous albums, which are Beer Bongs and Bentleys and Stoney. And then he had 8 hits on the Billboard 100 song chart during 2020, including his #1 Circles. 2020 is the 4th consecutive year that Post Malone has placed at least 1 album among the top 10 of the year on Billboard 200 albums charts. And this year he had #1 with Hollywood's Bleeding. In 2019, Beer Bong and Bentleys was #5. In 2018, Beer Bongs and Bentleys was #3, and Stoney was #8. And in 2017, Stoney placed #7. In 2020, Beer Bongs and Bentleys finishes at #23 for the entire year, while Stoney ranks at #45. So he's got 3 albums in the top 50 year-end charts. So commercially, Post Malone is just killing it. So as far as album charts, the Hot 200 charts for the year, Hollywood's Bleeding is #1, like I said. #2 is Lil Baby's My Turn, and Roddy Ricch's Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial is #3. and it's the first time since 2017 that the top 3 albums of the year-end 200 also charted on the weekly top R&B hip-hop albums chart. These are 3 hip-hop albums. Harry Styles' Fine Line came in next, and Taylor Swift's Folklore came in number 5 on the year-end Billboard 200 recap. The numbers 6 to 10 on the 220 year-end Billboard charts are in order: Lil Uzi Vert's Eternal Awake, Pop Smoke's Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon, The Weeknd's After Hours, Juice WRLD's Legends Never Die, and Luke Combs' What You See Is What You Get. So Luke Combs' What You See Is What You Get is the first album to have appeared on the top country charts to rank in the Billboard 200 charts since 2016, when Chris Stapleton's Traveler did it at number 7. So Luke Combs is bringing country back to the top 10 albums charts. He's doing heavy lifting to get that done. So Taylor Swift is the lone woman among the top 10 year-end Billboard 200 albums. It's the first time the top 10 has been so male-driven since 2017, when not a single album credited to a woman or female-fronted group was among the top 10. So men are killing it, at least in 2020. So Post Malone's success was not only limited to the album charts. He also had Circles, which came in number 2 on the Hot 100, which are the singles charts. Number 1 was Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. So Circles spent 38 weeks in a row in the top 10, including 3 weeks at number 1, with 28 of those in the 220 chart year. Remember, it was released in September, so a good percentage of the top performance for Hollywood Bleeding was in the previous tracking period. So the Hot 100 songs go, number 1 is Blinding Lights, number 2 is Circles by Post Malone, Roddy Ricch's The Box came in, number 3, and he plays number 5 on the featured artist on DaBaby's Rockstar, so number 5 is Rockstar. Number 4 is Dua Lipa's Don't Start Now, and it's the highest ranking tune by a female artist. Harry Styles' Adore You is number 6 on the Hot 100 for the year. Life is Good featuring Drake at number 7, Maroon 5's Memories at number 8, the highest ranked song by a duo or group, Maren Morris's The Bones at number 9, and Lewis Capaldi's, I love Lewis Capaldi, Someone You Loved at number 10. So that's the performance on the Billboard. Now, talking about Post Malone, he's killing it in more ways than just performing on the Billboard. Some of you may have caught his live stream where he performed about an hour and a half of songs covering Nirvana songs, and he had the Blink-182 drummer Travis Barker there, and it was phenomenal. I mean, it was a completely out of the element that we're normally used to hearing him. And he played guitar. He had another guitar player with him, another bass player. A lot of people were surprised at how great Post Malone sounded in a hard rock environment. I mean, he's playing distorted guitars, Les Paul, even did some lead line stuff, and just really killed it for an hour and a half. And the word is that he actually would prefer to be a rocker, and that's his first love. And I've seen a video of him playing in Guitar Center, picking out guitars. But for right now, he's happy succeeding as a rapper, and maybe later on he might stretch out into more of a rock world. And he's certainly a multi-talented individual. And on top of that, he launched a rosé wine, Maison number 9, which is killing it. Sold out of the first 50,000 cases in pre-order, and it's got some pretty decent reviews. It's got a beautiful bottle shape, and it wasn't just something that they threw out there. He and his producer or manager, Dre London, they went to the south of France. There was an interview that Dre London did, and they looked into, researched how to make this wine and make it a good quality wine. I mean, they weren't just messing around. They just didn't call up wine companies and said, hey, make us a wine for us and put it in this bottle. They actually learned about the winemaking process and did some research and developed this rosé wine. It's gotten some pretty good reviews and has really taken the wine world by storm. And rosé, actually, unfortunately, as a wine, has gotten a bad reputation, and it's primarily because of something called white zin. In the early 70s, there was actually a malfunction at the wine pressing machine in California, and there wasn't enough grape skins that came in contact with the wine, and what came out was a pink-colored rosé wine. and they launched it kind of a sugary, sweet drink, sweet zin, or white zin, and actually Zinfandel is a red grape. Most people drink Zinfandel as a red wine, but it was actually a mistake, and it was a hit with the bourgeois American drinkers, and people who like wine actually thumb their noses at it because it really is kind of a sugary, not very elegant drink. And because of that, rosé became a punchline. But in fact, rosé is a very old type of a wine with a high reputation. In fact, back in ancient Greece, the most common wine that they drank was a rosé wine. So it's got a history. It's just unfortunate that the white zin thing really gave it a bad reputation. It's just a coincidence of history. So now, if people overlook that bad reputation it's had for the last 50 years and just look at it as for what it is, it's really doing well. And they're saying that some of the top, Dre London has said that based on the social media following they're getting, they are putting a scare into established wine companies because people are liking and following their social media pages on their wine, and they have more engagement than established wine companies. And that's to be understood. I mean, Post Malone is the top artist right now, 2 consecutive years, and when he comes out with a wine company, and if it's any good, it's going to have a really strong chance of succeeding. They're not the first company or first celebrities to put out a rosé type wine. Brangelina, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie have a wine company that they launched some years ago, and they still own it together, and it puts out a really high quality rosé kind of wine. So, and there are other examples of that. John Bon Jovi also has a rosé wine, but apparently, according to the reviewer that I read, it's a really poor quality, and when he drank it, he got a horrible hangover. So it's not highly regarded. But Post Malone's new wine, Maison number 9, is apparently a pretty good wine. So anyway, that's all I've got for today. We'll see you next time. Hey everybody, this is Tim Wolf. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please go to the link down below in the description. There's a bit.ly link. Listen to my music at Spotify. I appreciate it very much. It means a lot to an artist if you follow them. If you would be kind enough to like the video if you enjoyed it and share it with your friends. Finally, be sure to subscribe. And then also there are other videos on this screen that you can watch. And I'll see you next time. Thank you so much.